Hello guys, and welcome to a book review on The Poppy Wars by R.F. Kuang. I'm doing a review of this book. I know there's a ton of other reviews out there. I was just scrolling through them today, and it's like a lot of reviews because this was such a hyped book this past year, but I thought that I would just put a review out there just because the second one is coming out in April. Alright, so quick update if you can see through my crap screen. I just checked the release date on the second book, The Dragon Republic, and I guess it is August 6th now, so here's a correction, I guess, though I thought it was April, but I guess it's later now, so, you know, sucks to be me. I wanted to just get my thoughts out there really late, you know, how I like to do it, just because I read this recently in preparation for the second book, and it was one of my favorite books of this year, so might as well just put my opinions out there, even though there's probably 30 people that have already said it, you know, I'm still gonna do it. So, a little summary about this book. This book follows a war orphan named Rin, and it just starts with her studying for this test to get into an elite school, and how you do on this test kind of bases where you get put in different provinces and stuff. And so Rin actually ends up going into the highest school in all of the kingdom that she's in, which is Nekera, I believe. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, you know, whatever, you get the idea. But she scores really high on this test, so this means that she's sent to the elite school with all of these mostly rich kids whose parents kind of got them there, you know. Her parents didn't bribe the college to get her in. Just in case you didn't catch up on this really awesome pun I made about the Lori Loughlin and the, you know, Varsity Blues college scam that's going on, that's what that lame joke was for. If you didn't catch it, so I don't look like a complete idiot, but that still was a terrible joke. Okay, bye. Too soon. So she ends up going to the school, and, you know, she feels out of her league kind of because there is a bunch of richer kids whose parents are in the political sphere and mostly influential people in Nekera. So it follows her story as she kind of trains in this school to be in the military, and then it follows her path as to which of the schools she's going to choose, which would be strategy, combat, or there's one, Mystics, I believe, is the club. And so it kind of just follows her as she tries to pick which path she's going to lead and struggles to catch up with kids who have been way ahead of her. Obviously, she's an orphan from a very poor district, and most of these kids are richer people from more influential districts. So it's just kind of an interesting following her going to the school and something that she's not really used to, and I really enjoyed that part about it. Another thing that I thought was important to mention about this book is that it really reminds me of a mix between Red Sister by Mark Lawrence and Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I thought that the school feeling kind of reminded me of Nevernight, and just like the training school and like the battling with other people to get into the top spot really reminded me of Nevernight, which is also one of my favorite books. And then like the character, like the main character Nona from the Red Sister, just really reminded me of the main character Rin, kind of, just in that they were stubborn and that they're like to fight and kind of feisty. I don't know, the characters to me were very similar, just in like their personality traits, so that's something that I really enjoyed because it was like a mix of my two favorite series. So I think that if you like either of those book series, that you would really be interested into this, and I would recommend that you read. So some things that I really liked about this book, obviously, was the setting. It takes place, like I mentioned, in an elite kind of military school, and I just thought that the setting was really cool, like, you know, training, going to classes every day, like a cool fighting college, basically. And just the fact that it's a historical fiction. It's loosely based on Chinese history and Japanese history. At least that's what the back of the book says, and that's where the setting is anyway. So I thought it was just cool to like envision an old school where students are taught like political intrigue and combat and the mysticism part of it. It was just really cool, and I really loved the setting. Okay, so another part that I really liked about this book was the action and the political intrigue of it. It's kind of like a lot of the other stories that I like, where there's two different sides and there's a lot of like political intrigue and guessing as to what happens. Kind of like Red Rising, I feel like, and just like it was a lot of cliffhangers kind of like that personally to me, so I really did definitely like the action part of it. And at the end, I don't think I'm spoiling anything because it says that it leads off like saying, what if there was a third Poppy War, which is, that's the title of the book, is the Poppy War. So it just kind of leaves off where there's a war happening, and I definitely like the end part with a different political intrigue, which I thought was really cool for the end of the book. I'm like holding this book in my hand and not letting it go. Okay, so some things that I disliked about this book, obviously I didn't dislike too many things about it because it was one of my favorite books, but I do think that the history of the Poppy War definitely could have been introduced earlier into the book as opposed to like halfway through. They did hint about it like briefly, but I feel like it wasn't explained the greatest, so you didn't kind of know fully what the Poppy War was about till like halfway through. And I thought that it would have been a lot easier to understand some of the references. I've read this book 2 times now. So definitely it means a lot more reading the first half of the book once you already have like the knowledge of the Poppy War and about the islands and the wars that happened. Just because there is a lot of different provinces and names, I think that it would have been more important if like, I don't know if you could put like a prologue chapter and just like explained the wars a little bit, or like some of the history before you got into the character. I don't know. Just my personal thought is I think that the first half, like the references wouldn't have been as wasted if you kind of knew what was happening in the second half, but other than that, you know, I don't really have any complaints. Thank you guys for watching. I was trying to keep it short and just give you a brief summary of this book in preparation for the second one coming out. I would highly recommend that you pick up the first one and read it before April, or you know, if you want to be late like me, wait till half the year, but just pick up the book and read it. It's really good. I would give it 5 stars, honestly. I was really impressed by it and I didn't think that I would like it as much as I did, but you know, don't judge a book by a cover, even if it is as pretty as this one. So, thanks for watching, I guess. I never know how to end these. Jazz hands, and farewell.